Hi guys, welcome back to another video of mine. I know that I've been quiet lately. I've got a couple of cool stuff coming up, hopefully, that I'll be sharing with you guys over here on my channel. But for now, it's a lovely Sunday afternoon here in my hometown of Worcester in South Africa where I live. And had a quiet afternoon. And when I came out now, there's some beautiful, beautiful high clouds. It wasn't there earlier. Earlier we had a little bit of wind, and it's actually looking very, very promising at this stage for beautiful, beautiful sunset. So I'm on my way to a spot that I photographed about a year ago. It's a wheat field that the guys do irrigation on. I think they're mostly harvested for feed, for animal feed. And there's some beautiful big hay bales on this field at the moment. So I'm heading over there now to see if I can capture a nice sunset with the hay bales in the foreground and everything. It looks like it's going to be the second epic sunset of this week. About 4 days ago, we had an amazing late afternoon thunderstorm build up with some amazing cloud formations and a mind-blowing sunset. So yeah, those images are all over on my Instagram feed and my Facebook page and all that kind of stuff. But right, for now, let's head out. Let's see what we can find. Come take along. Let's look at those beautiful clouds. Right, we've just arrived at this beautiful field that is absolutely amazing. Got lots and lots of hay bales laying around. Got some blue cranes in the distance, just walking around feeding. Pity I didn't bring my long lens to photograph that. And yeah, so let me quickly show you guys what we've got here. So there we go, that's the field. We've got the hay bales in the foreground. We've got the mountains in the back, and that should light up pretty nicely this afternoon. Now, something I must still figure out what I'm going to be doing is the sunset's going to be happening over there in the west, and the mountains is over there. So the mountains always look good in the background or in the distance, but I must still decide: do I want to capture where the sun goes down and get the best colors, or do I want to shoot over there towards the mountains and get some beautiful soft pastel kind of colors? I don't think these clouds will light up as nicely as the ones towards the sunset, but you never know. Let's see what's going to happen. So I think I'm just going to walk out into the middle of the field so I can shoot both ways. Should I need to? If my car is in the background in the shot, I can just clone that out. That's not a major issue. Right, so let's see what we can get here. These hay bales always make for interesting foreground subjects. You will often see guys shooting them when they are around. And with this not really being a wheat producing part of the Western Cape where I live, if you do get a chance, you go shoot them. Guys out in the Swartland area towards Malmesbury, Maritzburg, all those places, they normally do the square or the rectangular hay bales to stack up into pyramids, which can also be quite cool. But something like these round hay bales is very pleasing around. Oh man, I wish I had my long lens here. Those blue cranes are absolutely looking amazing on this field. Not sure if you can hear them. Amazing birds. Absolutely beautiful. Over in the distance, there's huge flocks of geese and spur-winged geese, whichever one it is, which are also feeding on the wheat that fell off and all that kind of stuff. Right. Let's see what we can find here. We haven't walked in very far. Let's have a look around. Let's go have a look over there. We've still got about another 45 minutes to colour, which should be nice. Now, another little tips and tricks I can quickly share with you. So that's the sun over there, and it should set roughly about there. And there's a way to determine how long it's going to be before the sun actually sets behind the horizon. So if you look at if you hold your hand like that and you've got your fingers up, so you'll see there's about just over 3 fingers left before it goes behind the mountain. So basically what you'll get 15 minutes for each finger. So if you look at the time now, it's 6:15. So judging by that, we've got just over 45 minutes to sunset. So that will give you a good indication if you're out in the field, if you don't know what the exact sunset times is going to be, that you can roughly work out if you're rushing to set up your shot. Work with the fingers. Sounds funny, but yes, that's a really good indication. Okay guys, right, I'm pretty set up here now. That's my angle I'm going to be shooting at, pretty low. I'm still in 2 minds of shooting towards the sunset, as you can see over there, or shooting this composition. And my idea is to shoot a bit of a pano, maybe just about a 50-60 degree pano, a little bit more actually, a little bit more, about 100 degree pano, roughly from about over there to there, but that way. So yeah, I'm still in 2 minds. So luckily there's 2 or 3 hay bales laying close by together over here. So if the sunset's going to be more epic that way, I'll be shooting towards the sunset. Just quickly move my camera over there and that should be fine. Alright, so let's get the filters and everything set up. I want to set up this camera here for some time lapse. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I don't, maybe I do. We'll still see, because I want to chat to you guys a little bit about shooting in the field panoramas. Right, so I think let's do that. It's a better option. What do you think? I've got an awesome time lapse from last year, the same field, same kind of setup, a little bit different clouds. We had some lenticular clouds. I'll just drop that in for you guys and show you. Right. Right, so let's get setting up over here. Shooting with my leaf filters. Let's get the adapter ring sorted out there. Filter holder. Right, and now I'm going to basically show you my go-to set. This is my go-to type of setup that I will use on about 90% of my landscape shoots. So I've got a 0.9 soft grade filter, which I slot in closest to my lens. Reason because then I just know which order that they are, and when I take them out and it's dark and I slot them back in, I can't see what the description says on them. And then the 0.6 soft grade filter. So basically I'm putting in 5 stops of darkness to the sky, darkening it by 5 stops, should I actually say. So right, let's have a look what this looks like. And we're shooting f11, ISO 100, and shutter speed is going to be about 1/10 of a second. So let's just sort out the white balance here. Let's make it cloudy so it's a little bit more warm. Yes, there we go. Canon 6D with my Canon 17-40 wide angle lens at 17 millimeters. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So let me quickly show you, go through my setup here to shoot panoramas in the field. Okay, first things first, you will definitely need a very sturdy tripod. The reason behind that is because you don't want your camera to be moving too much left and right of the scene. The ones that work better is if you've got an L bracket for your camera. So what you want to do here is you want to keep your sensor part over the middle column of your, and don't move that too much. So it works if you're shooting on this particular head, it works if you're shooting in portrait mode, but then what happens is your sensor will not be moving on a center axis and just doing that. Your sensor will actually be rotating through an arc, which is what you don't really want. It works still, but you get more distortion and your chances of it not lining up is much higher. To counterbalance this, if you're shooting with this type of pano head, is that if you, and also with a normal ball head, is if you're shooting with a longer focal length, so let's say 35, 40, 50 or even longer, you're not going to get that much of an effect happening. With this 17mm wide angle, you've got lots of stuff in the foreground. We're pretty close to these hay bales, so the chance of getting distortion on that is quite high. I do it, but it doesn't always work. So I'll be frustrated when I get back home and it doesn't work on my computer when I try to stitch them up. Right, so with that, the tripod is set up. The most important part of shooting panos in the field is that your tripod legs, this and your base over here, needs to be perfectly 100% level. This old Manfrotto of mine has got a spirit level built in on the base here, so I level my legs. So I know that once my legs is level, that's all set up. So now you must just level your camera, and all the modern DSLR cameras has got built-in spirit levels. So if you go to live view, you don't even need to go to live view. Just my Canon 60, if I press the info button, it will give up the spirit level at the back, and if I adjust it until the line goes green, like there, I know I'm pretty set with it being level this way. It's not level this way because I've tilted it up a little bit to get more of the sky in and everything. But this is level, the camera is level that way, so the chance of it lining up now is 100%. Only issue that you might get is when you've got bigger stuff in the foreground like these hay bales, is that they might not, you'll get a little bit of squiggly stitch on them. It's not always an issue. You can sort it out with some creative cloning and all that kind of stuff, but you'll just need to watch out for that. Right, so basically setup for shooting panos is done. I do this on all my shoots because I don't always shoot panos, but now I've got the option to do it if the opportunity is there, if the conditions is right to shoot a pano, or the scene will lend itself to shooting a pano. I can do it right now. To say that I'm going to be doing it on every single shoot is not going to be, I don't always do it, but I'm ready to go should I feel like doing it. In this case, I do want to shoot a pano. I shot a pano here, about the same scene, different kind of different clouds last year, so I want to almost do like a replica type shot of that. Right, so let's get cracking. Alright, I've just fired off a couple of frames just to see what it looks like, and I'm pretty happy with the composition I've got here. Right, now to get back to some of the shooting techniques, once everything is set up and you're ready to go, is one thing I will do is I will use live view in 90% of my shots. The reason why that is, I can see exactly what the exposure is doing, I can see exactly what the shot is going to be looking like. It's a whole bang shoot. So I will focus in live view as well. So there's two ways of focusing. If your autofocus on your camera is pretty spot on, you can simply back button focus and it will focus on the subject that you want. Other thing you can do is you can switch it into manual mode from the beginning, use the zoom button, zoom into 10 times magnification, and then you can simply, with the focus ring, adjust it till you are happy with the focus in that particular spot, and then you're set to go. So should you be using the autofocus option, you'll focus, get it, and lock your lens into manual focus. That way you know that the scene is going to be sorted. And I'm applying the hyperfocal distance rule here that I've talked about so much in previous things, is that I use that because the hyperfocal distance, I can now pick up my camera, move it to anywhere I want, as long as I stay further away than what my focus is, and everything will still be in focus. With the hyperfocal distance is on f11 on my Canon 6D at this, it is roughly about 1 meter, 1.5 meters max, if I remember correctly. I can double check it on the app I use for that. So I'm further away than that from my subject, so everything will be in focus, irrespective if I shoot at f1 or if I shoot at f22. I will make a video, a more detailed video on using the hyperfocal distance for shooting. I use it especially for my astro work, night stuff. Right, so once you're set up with that, exposure is done, I'll go in live view. So right, so let's see what we're going to do for a pano. I normally say shoot wider than what you need. So down on one knee here, so I can show you guys. Start further and shoot further. Start further left than what your frame that you want your picture to be, and shoot further to the right than where you want your picture to end. It's easier to crop it down because you're going to be working with a shitload of pixels in this, because it's 21 megapixel shots that I'm going to be firing, stitching them together, so you're going to be merging all those megapixels together. So you can crop in on panos. So I would start wider, and then I'll fire my first frame. Turn it so that you move your subject that's on your bottom third, that it should be close to the edge. You move that so it's in the third. So basically what's going to be happening is you're going to be overlapping by roughly about a third in each frame. The reason why I'm doing that is the more info you give your stitching software to work with, the better your final result is going to be in stitching it up. If you simply fire away and you take your subject from edge of the frame and you move it till the next frame, you put it on that side, and then you shoot basically. You can shoot the same scene in about 3 frames and get the scene as what it's going to be. But if you've got your subject and it moves the increments in movement between different frames is too much, the chance of it not stitching up perfectly is higher. So the more info you give it in more frames, the better the algorithms in Lightroom and Photoshop and PTGUI and all these things can work together, so that it can merge them together so it looks correct without any distortions or funny lines or not lining up or anything like that. So instead of shooting 3, shoot 9. Instead of shooting 9, if it's going to take 9 frames to shoot your scene, shoot 18. If it's going to take 18 frames to fill the frame correctly, shoot 36 if you have to. But in this case, 3-4 frames should be fine. So I'm shooting it at about 6 or 7 frames to get it from left to right. Again, it's just to give more info to your processing software, so that it gives you a better result in the end. Right, so let's see what's going to happen with the sun. The sun is going to start peeking through the clouds at the back there, so it should light up the foreground beautifully in a couple of minutes, hopefully. So let's see what it does color wise to the clouds. I still think the best color is going to be towards the west, where the sun is going to be setting, but we'll see what's going to happen. I like this composition this way, so let's see how it goes. Right, we've got some beautiful sunlight coming in over there, lighting up the foreground beautifully. You should be able to see it in your frame there. So right, let's fire off a couple of shots again and see what we get out with. Right, again, start far left and quickly bring it around. So that's frame number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 frames. And in that 12 frames, I've got lots and lots of detail. I've got my foreground hay bale on this one. I've got it in my shots in about 4 frames. So I've got a lot of detail to stitch it up perfectly. I've got beautiful light happening over there. So right, let's see what's going on. Right, I've switched my positions now to shoot towards the sunset. As you can see in the frame, we've got beautiful clouds lighting up. So let's see what's going to be happening here. I'm going to see if I can squeeze another pano in shooting this way. First need to reset up the legs. Right, we've got level there. Camera's level. Stunning shots. Okay guys, that's it for tonight. Sun has gone down behind the mountains. you can see over there. I doubt it's going to be anything spectacular. I might be wrong as usual, because I've had plenty of those moments where the sun just looked like it's going to just go flat and then the colour just burst out. But I really need to get going. It's getting dark. Need to get the family sorted out with some food and stuff, stop at the shops. So right, I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Cheers.